Queen's Guards are trained never to flinch, but when Corporal Edward Grant sees an elderly woman being pushed to the ground, something breaks. Not in protocol, in his heart. Corporal Edward Grant, 45, is nearing his retirement. 25 years of loyal service, flawless record, no reprimands, not a single moment out of line. He's stationed near the Lancaster Gate, facing the courtyard. He's a statue in red. Tourists laugh, children mock, cameras flash. He doesn't move, but behind the stillness is a man in mourning. 2 months ago, he lost his mother. She raised him alone, taught him dignity, patience, and honor. She never visited Buckingham Palace, but every week she would ask, "Did anyone notice you today, my boy?" "No, Mum," he'd smile. "That means I did it right." It's a Sunday. The courtyard is busy. Rain clouds gather, but no one notices the tension yet. Across the plaza, Edward hears raised voices. A teenager, maybe 16 or 17, is arguing with an elderly woman holding shopping bags. She gestures, pleads. He pushes her back once. People murmur, but no one steps in. Then the boy shoves her hard. She stumbles, falls, hits the stone. Her umbrella skitters across the ground. Tourists gasp. Phones come up. But still, no one moves. Neither does Edward, because he's not allowed to, until he sees her face. For a split second, it's his mother, frail, afraid, falling. His heartbeat spikes. His throat tightens. He feels that quiet voice in his memory. "Don't ever let anyone hurt someone who's smaller than you." His grip tightens on the rifle. His boot shifts. Protocol screams at him, "Don't move! Don't speak! Let security handle it." But humanity whispers louder. Edward takes one step forward, then another. The crowd goes silent. Even the rain seems to pause. He walks across the courtyard, slowly, deliberate, heavy. The teenager looks up, laughs nervously. "What? Are you going to salute me?" Edward doesn't speak. He reaches the boy, lifts him by the collar. "Apologize. Now. Or, I swear by every medal I earned in Afghanistan, you'll remember this for the rest of your life." The teen stumbles over an apology. Edward picks up the woman's umbrella, helps her to her feet. She shakes, but nods. 3 hours later, Edward sits in the palace disciplinary office. He says nothing in his defense. He doesn't need to. "You broke conduct in front of 200 tourists." "Yes, sir." "You understand? We have no choice." "Yes, sir." He removes his bearskin hat, places it on the table, leaves the office a civilian. As Edward walks away from the scene, the woman steadies herself. The boy runs. Security finally catches up. Too late. But the moment is etched. Some tourists clap, others whisper. Phones are still recording. One video will go viral by evening, titled, "The Guard Who Couldn't Ignore It." But Edward doesn't see it. He doesn't care. Back in the guard quarters, he removes his tunic and gloves, folds them neatly. He opens the old locker where his brother's medal is pinned beside his mother's photo. He whispers to them both, "I know you'd be proud." Even if they're not. The formal dismissal arrives 2 days later. No ceremony, no recognition, no farewell, just a courier and a letter sealed with the palace crest. This office acknowledges the breach of standard protocol during the incident dated. But tucked inside the envelope, beneath the formal language, is a handwritten note. "Not all heroes are statues. Thank you for reminding us what real strength looks like." Unsigned. No one knows who wrote it. 3 weeks pass. Edward fades into civilian life. He doesn't return to the palace. He doesn't wear red. He walks to the same bench in Hyde Park every morning. Same thermos, same seat, same silence. Until one day, a figure approaches. It's her. The old woman? Ellen. She smiles with trembling hands. I know who you are. You looked like someone I lost long ago. My son. She reaches into her purse and hands him a pressed poppy. Thank you for not standing still. They sit together. No more words, just the peace of two people who knew what it cost to care. Time moves on. New guards take their place. Tourists continue visiting. But near Lancaster Gate, there's a photo frame posted by the wall. A still image. Edward Grant, mid-step, umbrella in hand, coat billowing, eyes locked on the boy. Below, a quote. We train men to stand still, but the finest among them know when not to. Back home, Edward places his uniform in a wooden case, not a wardrobe, a coffin of memory. He places his mother's photograph on top of it. Next to it, a tea tin she gave him at 17, dented but unopened. He sits at the kitchen table and stares at nothing. The silence now isn't professional. It's grief that's run out of form. He turns on the telly. They're debating him. Hero or disgrace? He broke tradition. He protected a citizen. What if every guard did the same? He switches it off. Days later, a letter arrives. But it's not from the palace. It's from the boy. My name is Jacob. That woman was my nan. My parents. They're not around anymore. She's all I've got. I just wanted to say, if you hadn't stepped in, I think I would have become someone like the boy who pushed her. But now, I want to be like you. Even if you're not a guard anymore, you still guard people. Weeks later, Edward receives an unexpected knock. A woman from the Royal Veterans Outreach Office. Would you speak at a school? He hesitates. He hasn't spoken publicly in over a decade. They just want to meet someone who knows when to follow rules and when to listen to his heart. Edward stands in front of 20 schoolchildren. Some fidget, some stare. One boy raises his hand. Did it hurt to lose your job? Edward thinks. It hurt more to lose silence, but gain meaning. Another girl asks, would you do it again? He looks at the tea tin in his pocket. Yes, even if I had to fall 10 more times. Because people are heavier than metals. 1 year later, Edward volunteers part-time at a veteran trauma support program. He helps train younger guards, not in marching, but in empathy. How to hold still without going numb. How to salute without forgetting why you're doing it. The story of the man who moved becomes a quiet part of palace history, never officially told, but passed around like a legend. It's Remembrance Day. The old woman, Ellen, now in a wheelchair, watches the parade. Next to her stands Jacob, taller now, confident. The guards march past, but one stops. He turns, just slightly. His foot shifts forward in a small but deliberate half-step. Protocol would call it a mistake. But Ellen smiles, because she knows. That guard learned from a man who once gave up everything to honor someone who fell and someone he loved. You can stand perfectly still and still be wrong. Or you can take a single step and carry the world with it. This is the story of a soldier who lost his place in line. To take his place in someone's life. Subscribe for more true-hearted stories about quiet courage, irreversible choices, and the people who move when no one else will.